Hello everyone, in this video I'll be teaching you how to navigate in your command prompt. Okay, so let's open the command prompt by typing Windows R on our keyboard and type CMD. Now the first command we'll be going through is the CD command. The CD command is to change directory. C for change, D for directory. And in order to change directory, we'll be changing directory to a folder that we know that exists. Folders and directories are the same thing. In your GUI, they are referred to as folders, whereas in your command line or the command prompt interface, it is referred to as directories. Now, if we were to go into desktop, we'll say CD, which is change directory, and then we'll specify where we want to go, which is desktop, and in that case we are moved into the desktop. Now, how do we know we're in the desktop? We know by seeing or by checking everything that's written after the greater than sign. Now that path signifies where we are at every point in time. So before then we were in the Orolua Adeshegun directory or folder on the computer, which is a subdirectory of the users, which is a subdirectory of the root directory, which is the C drive. Now, if we wanted to see the content of the desktop, we'll use another command known as the dir. Now, the dir will list all the contents of any directory. Okay, so if we wanted to move into another directory such as the cos205 CSB directory, we will simply just specify that we want to change directory to cos205 CSB directory. Now, because there's a space in between, it is a good idea to put the two words together by putting two inverted commas, open and close inverted commas, to make that a string. Okay, and then if we press enter, it takes us there, and then we can do a dir to see the contents, and we see that we have a Java file here and a class file as well. Okay, so these two commands helps us to, one, change directory from one folder to another, and then the other one, dir, helps us to display the content of the directory. Now, to go back to a parent directory, just the directory above where we are, that is, if we wanted to go back to desktop, then we would say change directory, but then we would specify space and then dot dot, and once we do that, it takes us to the desktop from the cos205 CSB folder. Okay, and let's go back into that folder and then see what some other things that are possible as well. Now, if I press tab on my keyboard, it auto completes whatever I was typing, if whatever I was typing exists on that computer. Okay, so with the tab, it auto completes, and then I press enter, it changes to that directory. If I say cd dot dot slash dot dot, it takes me back by two folders. That is, it goes away from here, and then takes me to the Orolua Adeshegun folder. If I do a dir of that folder, we see that we have desktop, documents, downloads, Dropbox, and so on and so forth, which are all directories. That is, they're all folders that can be accessed. Okay, so if I wanted to go into the music directory or the music folder, I could just say cd music, and then it takes me to the music folder. To see the content, I do a dir, and then it shows me the content. And so this is one way to do it. Now, so far, we've only been going one step at a time into those directories. Now, there are two possible ways to specify directories. Either we specify their relative paths or we specify their full paths. Now, to specify a relative path would be to just from the present working directory, in this case, which is music, to specify that, okay, I want to go into the next directory, which is Natalie Cole. Now, if we were back by one, as in we were in the Orelu Adeshegun folder, and we know that inside our music folder we have a subfolder called Natalie Cole, it means that we can say we want to change directory using relative path. It just means that we'll say music slash Natalie Cole. Okay, so music slash Natalie Cole, and then I press enter, and it takes me there. Now let's assume I was back there. That's specifying all of this is a relative path. Now if I were to specify the full path, it means that I will specify the entire thing from the root directory, which is our C drive. Okay, so from the root directory we'll specify from the root directory all the way to Natalie Cole, and that will be specifying a full path. Okay, so if I were to go back by two folders, go up by two folders, then specify a full path, then that would be C slash users slash slash music, in this case, slash Natalie Cole, and then I can press enter, and it does exactly the same thing, but in this case we specified the full path, whereas in this case we specified a relative path relative to where we are currently, or relative to our present working directory or our present folder. Okay, so these are the commands you would be using to navigate through your command prompt to get your files and be able to compile and execute your Java applications.